I have been on disability since 2018. I'm autistic, I have complex PTSD, bipolar disorder 2, severe anxiety disorder, borderline personality disorder, ADHD, fibromyalgia, a broken vertebrae in my back. I had endometriosis, but had a full hysterectomy in April of last year. I had a hormone imbalance, but that also was fixed. I have body dysmorphia. I was a pre-diabetic, but was able to lose weight and got rid of it by being healthy. I have severe depression, severe insomnia, night terrors, agoraphobia, and in August of last year, 2022, I started experiencing temporary blindness, which was absolutely fucking terrifying. And that's when I met a man named Marcus Harris. And now, I am where I am. On April 2nd, Marcus Harris and I got into an altercation, and I realized what an abusive man he was. I was not in a loving relationship. I was not in a relationship at all. I realized I had been used, I had been abused, and that I had been taken advantage of because I was blind and vulnerable and hurt. My father has dementia. My mother died March 8th, and I watched her painfully die over 9 days when I had just received my sight back a month before. Do you know how painful it is to watch your best friend die, vomiting blood, screaming out your name in the middle of the night, dying painfully in front of your eyes when you had had no eyesight for 6 months? That's awful. To only then think you had a man that you loved and that loved you. To hold you hostage for 3 hours and belittle and berate you with every trauma you ever told him you'd ever experienced in your life. He had a gun and kept my phone and keys from me. I was so scared and terrified I had my hands over my ears. I was crying and begging him to let me leave, and he wouldn't. He scared my service dog Ariel so bad. She can't be around men anymore. I can't take her out as my service dog anymore. She can't even stand my family because of what he did. Now, afterwards, I couldn't think of anything to get out of it except for I slapped him to try and knock some sense or reality into him, hoping he would call the cops, and he did. If you listen to the 911 call, I'm in the background screaming for help in the 911 call, begging them to come save me. He hid all of his guns in the house before the cops showed up while I was packing all of my stuff to try and get out of that apartment. When the cops showed up, the cops kept me hid in the bedroom with him still at the doorway, talking about our dead friend who introduced us, trying to use his death against me. That's disgusting. Who does something like that? Only somebody who is pure evil. Even the male cop was astounded by it. But the female cop that came to talk to me asked me 2 questions. What happened? I couldn't think. All I could think of was Marcus still out there. And I was terrified. I couldn't answer her the truth. I couldn't tell her what he'd done. He could still kill me. He wouldn't give a fuck about cops. He gave no fucks about anything. He broke the law daily. He would go days without letting me eat. The only thing I would be able to consume was either mushrooms or alcohol. And that was at his leisure. I'm terrified making this video of what he will say or do to me. But I don't care anymore, because this isn't about me. This is about what the jail did to me and what people are allowed to do to other people. They gave me a battery charge and arrested me and made me go without my medication for 4 days. I went into a deep psychosis because this was only a month after my mother died, my best friend. And after going through that much trauma in such a short amount of time, my brain couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle it anymore. I tried to clear my head. I went up to Lucky Peak for a drive and I took everything I could imagine to help myself mentally that I could think of. But instead, I drove my car over a 200-foot cliff into somebody's backyard. Did anybody hear about it on the news? No. Did anybody see about it on the news or anything like that? No. Instead, the nasty cop that came and showed up tried to throw me in jail again. Fortunately, my sister showed up at the time I needed her to and was able to talk to one of the 50 cops that showed up. 1 out of 50 listened, and they put me in a mental ward where I belonged. But unfortunately, the mental ward couldn't carry the medications I needed either. I have had over 40 failed medications in the last 15 medicated for my mental disorders. I've had to have a DNA test done just to find the right medications to make them work for me. And that was a very hard feat for my doctors to come to. That's not an easy thing. My medication, one alone, is $1,600 a month. Just my mood stabilizer. I can't afford that. And apparently neither could St. Al's. So I had to pull myself out of a psychosis on my own, without help from the psych ward, without help from the doctors, without help from the nurses, on my fucking own. And I did it. Because I knew other people had to have help too. And that's what I'm here for, is to help other people. To make it aware of what is really going on in our systems nowadays. What happened to me is wrong and disgusting, and it should never happen to anybody, ever again. Up until 3 days ago, I have been so far into such a deep depression, I have not been able to do anything besides feel sorry for myself and drown in my own sorrows and hide from the world. But I'm done fucking hiding. And I'm done being quiet, and I'm done standing down. I am here to make my story known, and I am here to help others, and I'm not alone in this. The jail and the state have swept everything under the rug, and now I am charged with a battery charge against a man who tried to kill me. Numerous times. When the jail did the same to me. And I'm not standing down. I'm not going to accept any charges from them. I refuse. I refuse to accept anything less than an apology from the state and from Marcus Harris. But if I don't get it from him, I'm not surprised. Because evil doesn't know what an apology is. Evil will never see an apology. There's a lot more to this story. And it will be out, and it will be viral. I am here to help others. And I am here to make it known. I love you all. And I just want you to know I'm never going away again. That's a promise.